Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Kyuuyaku Megami Tensei 1. So, last time, we defeated Medusa and freed the Sky City of Bien from her terrible curse by, killing her. And now we can explore this, little Bien recreational area, which was previously blocked off, and, before I just kinda went in and healed up and saved. But, as you can see here, we have two new areas that we haven't seen before. There's a slots area and a big and small area. Big and small I'll show off next time around. I kind of forgot to include that in the editing for this episode. I just kind of ducked in, then ducked out, so it's not even really that important. But yeah, take a look at these item prices, huh? Kind of expensive. Well, we're gonna fix that, but I'll get into that a little bit later. For those of you who know me, y'all know that I'm fundamentally, wow, that's a new word I just invented right now. Fundamentally, I just love breaking apart RPGs. I love getting super beefy, all of my characters, and just kind of wrecking the balance and just making it crumble in the palm of my hands. I really love exploiting number systems and just getting my characters as powerful as possible and making the, not competitive balance, but, you know, the gameplay balance a complete joke under my mastery and understanding of number systems and RPGs. So that's kind of what we're going to do here. This is our first chance to really do so. So what we're gonna do is we are going to play a shit ton of slots, and just completely ruin the idea of this game having an economy, or Maka being a worry at all. As soon as you beat Medusa, you don't gotta worry about money ever again in this game, because let me tell ya, this is maybe the most generous casino you will ever encounter in any area of your life. Like, you know, in most JRPGs, you go to the casino area and you maybe play the games once and you're like, okay, that's fun, but whatever, fuck it. Don't do that in this game. You can just fucking, like, I mean, literally, the save spot is right in front of the casino. So, like, if you get unhappy results, what you can do is you can just, like, you know, before going to the casino, you can save and then come back out and then go right, like, you are right there in front of the casino. So yeah, as you can see, different combinations result in different rewards in terms of money tiers. And then also some of the higher combinations will result in you winning items as well. The mask kind of acts as a wild card symbol. So yeah, we're just going to play the fuck out of these slots, and I will see you in a bit. Yeah, suck my dick, Jeff Bezos. Look at that fat cash. I'm sorry I said that. Anyways, so what we're gonna do is we are going to load up on all of the good equipment that we can currently get from the recreational area here. And then we are going to go ahead and we are going to kind of sequence, not really sequence, well, I guess it is technically sequence breaking, but like, I feel like the game kind of encourages it in a weird way. You'll see what I mean when I, you know, when I get to it. But yeah, and as you can see, even though that, like, we, like, have a ridiculous amount of Maka, we're still going through it fast. I feel like they really want you to grind a bit to afford some of these items, and I think some of the balancing of this game kind of relies on that, but we're not gonna worry about that. We're just gonna keep exploiting the casino whenever we need to, and money is no longer an object. We live in a post-scarcity world in Kyuuyaku Megami Tensei land. It's pretty ridiculous. I don't, and that's the other thing. I don't actually see a lot of people online talking about the slots machine area of this game, and they should. I feel like this is a very underrated way of breaking this game apart completely. I think I recorded about 45 minutes of footage to get to where I'm at, so obviously, you know, patience is a virtue sort of deal. But I think it's worth it because it's 45 minutes of that versus, like, an hour and a half or 2 hours of grinding and doing it like the, you know, more traditional way. And as you can see, we still got over 20,000 Maka to spare. So I keep walking past that poison bar area, and I actually don't quite remember what that is off the top of my head, but if I recall correctly, you can go in there and then pay some cash, and I think it warps you back to Mycon. I could be completely wrong about that. I'll double check, and I'll get back to y'all about that next episode. In fact, I'm going to write myself a note. I have a notebook near me, but I don't have a pencil or anything, actually, so that's a lie. I'm not going to write myself a note, but I'll probably remember. At least I'll try to. I'll also try to show off that big and small game we walked past, too, which is another gambling game. Personally, from my experience, it's a lot. It's a much slower way of getting money compared to the slots machine, and it's just literally like a number guessing game that I think is kind of bullshit, so yeah, I don't really ever use that service or whatever in here. But yeah, also I really want to apologize if any of y'all are hearing this fucking weird winter storm thing that's kind of going on outside. It's been going on and off for like the last 15 hours now. I've tried to record at various times throughout the day, and it's like late at night now, and I was like, yeah, I think it's died down enough that it shouldn't be a problem, I hope. But yeah, it's been like a mix of like snow and rain, and everything's all slushy and gross, and yeah, it's kind of like that weird interim period where it's too early to be spring, but it's like kind of too late to be winter, and everything's just kind of terrible and gross and gray outside. As you can see, I bought some of those muscle drinks and the magic sources, I think they're called, but yeah, I think I talked about those earlier on in the playthrough, and I think I got a few comments saying like, oh, I love those items or whatever, but I personally am not the biggest fan. They just are like temporary boosts to your max HP and MP. And I just kind of think they're a little too pricey to be worth it, but you know, as I said, you can always just get more money by going to the casino. Jesus, I feel like I've suddenly just become the worst role model for children, and that makes me feel terrible, but what can you do? So we've managed to spend 7 minutes already just in this town, and that sure is something. Oh, did I... Okay, I was about to say, was I completely wrong about me forgetting to include the big and small area? But no, I need to show that off. I'll show that off like very quickly next episode. Yeah, at this point, I realized that my demon party has maybe fallen a little bit behind in terms of usefulness. And what I decided to do was check out the Cathedral of Shadows, see if I could fuse anything fun and exciting, and the answer was no. So what I'm going to do now is fight a tarantula, actually, I guess. Yeah, still random encounters here, even though we defeated Medusa, which is a little obnoxious, but whatever. I at least wish that the second floor was maybe free of encounters. Like, I get if the other floors aren't, but whatever. You don't get any random encounters in the town, at least, so that's nice. But anyways, so we can talk to the fucking space pilot man here, and we can actually move the Sky Palace to different parts of the dungeon. So we can skip along to the fourth area here, Mazurka. Marcusa, Mazurka. I feel like I've made this mistake multiple times before in this playthrough already. But anyways, we can go to this fucking pyramid here. And we can just park right in the middle of it. Which is certainly something. And then the other option was for Infinity Palace, which will set you, I shit you not, like, right in the middle of the final area of the game. I just kind of behind the scenes here, I tried to see if I could, you know, tackle any of the random encounters here with my current party loadout, and the answer was fuck no. So as you can see, we're on the 8th floor of the 4th dungeon here. I'm just gonna quickly cast Mapara so we can kind of understand more where we're going. As an aside, I've started to actually print out the maps of the areas so that I have like several sheets of papers in front of me at all times when I record this Let's Play, just because I found that was easier than swiping through random map images I had on a on a tablet. So yeah, just gonna boost up our max HP and MP and whatnot before we, you know, before we go ahead and do the thing. I actually think I just forgot to use those magic sources, so whoops. And that's actually kind of funny because just with like the differences in scale between the hit points and the magic points. I actually feel like the magic sources are a lot more useful than the muscle drinks. So, oops, that's my bad. That's the fun part about recording post-commentary, is you get to make fun of yourself in the past for not paying attention. And this was actually kind of annoying. I could not for the life of me get into a random encounter. Really frustrating. And once again, actually, so some of y'all might have put 2 and 2 together, but I might as well say it here. Because the only real penalty you get in this game for dying and then coming back to the latest save point is losing half of your Maka, that really, like, that already didn't really matter because we were early on in the game, and it only kind of started to matter now that we have, like, you know, a lot of money, and we don't want to lose all this money. Well, now that we can just kind of, like, infinitely, like, gamble grind, which, if that's not a trademark term, I think I'm gonna trademark that, along with Funda, whatever the fuck, Funda Elemental, or whatever the fuck I said previously, too. Yeah, you really don't need to worry anymore about dying, because any Maka you lose, you can just easily spend 30 minutes getting back from the slot machines. Which is such a fucking weird way to... I don't know. It's funny, and I feel like, in a weird way, it kind of complements this game being all, like, demonic and occulty with, like, yeah, give in to your vices, fucking gamble, asshole. Get all, you know, get powerful through the power of gambling. It's just funny to me. Anyways, please go to my website, KMT Go Lotto, where you can bet on Kyuuyaku Megami Tensei Let's Plays. I don't know where this joke's going. Man, y'all remember that? I feel like that maybe has been a controversy that was lost to time, the CSGO Lotto thing, but Jesus. Influencers are terrible. I hate them so much. I am one, kind of, I guess, in a, like, textbook definition of the thing, but whatever. Anyways, yeah, I should probably talk about what's actually happening in the game here. So these things can poison you, and in general, they kind of come in packs, and that's a little annoying, but, you know, nothing you can't deal with. It's only technically one area ahead of where we're at, so what you can really do is, I feel like if you go into the corridor here with a full party and up-to-date weapons and armor, you're really not going to have too much to worry about. You can definitely still die. Like, obviously these enemies are kind of, you know, in a sense, a lot more powerful than what you're technically capable of handling, or should be able to handle. But if you're really, you know, attentive, and you're healing as much as you can, and even if you have a lot of jewels stocked up for those easy free heals, these aren't really too bad to take on as random encounters. And it's a very easy way to grind for some quick leveling. One thing also, too, that's worth noting is these enemies, and a few other enemies, actually, as we get later into the game, have attacks where they're like, oh, they, you know, like, breathed fire or whatever. And, like, Cerberus or, like, other demons that, like, reflect or are, like, nullify those types of attack. More often than not, I find they just, like, take the hit and completely saves the rest of your party from taking damage. So a lot of the times I should be taking full party damage here, but because I went into this fight with Cerberus, he really saved my skin. Even though he is kind of outgrowing his usefulness. I do have a very specific reason for still keeping Cerberus around, and it's not just his revive spell. I'll probably show that off in an episode or two. It's funny, it was actually... There's an Easter egg type deal involving Cerberus in this game that I did not even know about until my second playthrough, and I just kind of happened to stumble onto it when I was doing my practice run for this Let's Play, and it was like fucking weird. I should probably save that experience for when I for when I actually get to it. But it was like something out of a creepypasta, man. It was mind blowing. Yeah. So, as you can see, our party's kind of getting thinned out here, and I'm getting a little nervous about Yumiko's health. The last thing I want is for our weird EXP imbalance to go the other way, and to have her fall far behind Nakajima, because in truth, I would much rather have Yumiko be ahead in levels, because she in a way kind of gets more out of leveling, in the sense that her having more MP and her also learning more spells is just a really nice thing in general. And I don't want to lose that along the way. And yeah, it can be a little frustrating when like an enemy is in the red like that, and then you don't finish them off when you kind of are hoping on it, because, you know, they have strength in numbers, and there we go. 4 on 4. 4 versus 3 now, so we're kinda in the lead here. We can make this work. And also too, I feel like I've seen, ooh, that was a good ass critical hit. We're almost reaching that 3-digit mark when we attack things. That's exciting. So I feel like a lot of people kind of dunk on Meidiyama as a skill because it doesn't heal a lot, even though it heals the entire party. But if you have like 2 or 3 party members that can all use it at once, it more than enough, like, basically nullifies anything that they can hit at you, or hit you with, rather. And as you can see, from that one encounter, we leveled up 4 times. So, yeah, we're more than ready to handle the Valhalla corridor and anything it can throw at us, which it's not even that tough of an area anyways. It's a little bit tougher going from BN to Valhalla, but, you know, not really any tougher than going to a new area in any RPG. You kind of catch up with the enemies and stuff quickly. But yeah, we are more than capable of just kind of blowing through this area now, which we are kind of going to get a start at this episode, but I was still like, you know, I feel like I should go out and recruit some demons and kind of do some stuff in terms of all that, and kind of making sure my party is up to date, because the last thing we want is like another like failed dungeon crawling attempt where I have to go and like do that all after a failed attempt. I'd rather just get all that out of the way before moving forward. I cannot get over this fucking Captain Harlock-esque like ship thing. It bothers me. Well, I guess now that I think about it, I guess this map kind of does confirm that the demon world does in fact, like, this whole dungeon is like one giant construct surrounded by a larger demon world. There's a very nice forest in the sides of the demon world. I'm happy that Lucifer is very strict about his carbon footprint and all the rest of demonkind. And once again, I don't know if I referenced this, but the elevators are working now that we beat the boss. I think I talked about this, where someone got stuck in an elevator at work. I think I talked about that at the start of this LP. Funny enough, it actually happened again this week, which I'm starting to now wonder if there's like a weird curse going on between me recording this Let's Play and activating elevators, and that somehow haunting the buildings I work at in real life, and makes, you know, like, it's kind of like a weird equivalent exchange thing where, like, when I make an elevator work in this game, an elevator at my place of work has to break in instead and trap someone inside for like 30 minutes. Now, what really sucks is that dude was using the elevator to go downstairs so that he could take his lunch, and he ended up using, like, you know, 30 minutes of his lunch break trying to get outside of an elevator, so that's no fun. Okay, so if there was a chibi version of Furiai like there was Kaim, I totally would have done the thing again where I would have superimposed the PNG over this image. I didn't do that. I saved you all the trouble. I'm pretty sure I promised I wouldn't do it again anyways, but I just thought it was really fucking funny. Once again, the fact that all of these pieces of media are taking from the same grimoires and lists of demons is a funny thing to me. How many, actually, I was gonna ask, how many, like, fictional universes actually just, like, make up their whole demons full cloth, and then I thought about it for, like, 3 seconds, and I'm sure the answer is actually a lot. It's just the type of shit that I tend to read tends to go back to the good old, like, Ars Goetia shit and all that. But, like, I was thinking, like, you know, like John Constantine, Megami Tensei, Drakengard, Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans, like, they're all referencing and using the same names and all that shit, and I was like, when are we going to get some new, unique demons in media? But I actually think there's probably a lot of properties that do have their own unique demons and stuff that they create. It's just, none of them are coming to my mind as of right now. I feel like I maybe showed off an Arachne encounter before, but it was when we were much weaker. So I thought I might as well show this one off just because it's a little more representative rather, of what we're going, you know, what we're going with in terms of Valhalla Corridor encounters and whatnot. I worded that weird, I know, but this is representative of your average Valhalla encounter when you're at this level, compared to the previous episodes where we were much, much weaker. And if you pay attention to the damage numbers, you may notice too that, yeah, these... Oh, yeah, I really tried to hit auto there, and I fucked up and just hit talk instead. I was a little too happy on that Wii U gamepad. Actually, I don't know if I talked about this yet. I am playing this on a homebrewed Wii U, which is really, really nice for emulating, actually. It's one of my preferred ways to play DS games now, actually, because they work just like Virtual Console Wii U DS games. You know, like the proper ones that they had on there and shit. Though, funny enough, there's a lot of DS ROMs that just don't work with Nintendo's official emulator, so... kind of a shame, but most of the games I'm interested in do work fine and all that. Like, you can play Strange Journey on there. You can play Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days is a popular one. It makes that game look a lot better because you can up the internal resolution and all that. And yeah, it's a fun time. Highly recommend homebrewing your Wii U. Honestly, I'm kind of interested in doing that with my Switch if I don't know. I was kind of, what my game plan was I was interested in getting that second version of the Switch that's been long rumored to come out, and homebrewing that. And then it came out that, or rather, not homebrewing that, but actually, you know, moving all of my shit from my current Switch over to that one, and then homebrewing it. And then using, you know, the new Switch as my official Switch, and then using my old Switch as like a homebrew machine or whatever. But over time, it seems like the new Switch model is kind of similar to the 2DS in that it's kind of stripped down in terms of features and all that. So I'm kind of holding off on now, and I think maybe I might as well just wait on knowing what that is before I make any plans like that. And as you can see, Cerberus down to 1 HP there. Luckily, we managed to heal him. Mummies are underrated, in my opinion. Like, I don't know. So, I feel like they're simultaneously, like, underrated, but also, like, I don't think mummies are cool. Like, of all the classic, like, horror movie monsters, mummies are kind of boring, let's be real. Like, they're like an individual zombie, but slightly more powerful, you know? And, like, zombies have the whole swarm thing going on, just a lot more interesting. But also, too, you know, you don't see mummies enough, I feel. Like, maybe they need to be in more things. I'm really looking forward for someone to do, like, a cool, fresh, new, like, 2019 take on a mummy. And I don't think that's going to happen for a while, because there was that whole Dark Universe mummy thing. And also, I'm being very careful about where I'm walking in this part of the dungeon, because we're actually getting pretty close to where the boss of this area is, and the last thing I want to do is stumble into a boss encounter that I am not prepared for, because we have not done the, you know, side quest thing. I should really stop calling them side quests. The mandatory quest for this area to be able to properly fight the boss. And there we go, we got an elf to join the party all easy like. So yeah, that was my main goal in this area was to just kind of explore, get some demons to join me. Fucking Bander over here just kept stealing my money and like catfishing me, and he was like, okay, yeah, I'll text you. Then he just kept showing up just to take more of my money, and I don't appreciate that at all. I actually don't know, thinking about it, if you can actually recruit beasts or if they always fuck you over in negotiation. I should probably have checked that before trying to get him to join me. Also, that's one thing. Yumiko has now learned the most important spell in the game, which is Trust Art, which will teleport you all the way back to whatever your last save point was. Such a fucking lifesaver, you don't have to walk all the way back anymore. Oh my god, I really wish that the game gave it to you earlier, just because it saves so much time. It is kind of expensive in terms of MP, but, it's worth it. Just because it saves you the trip all the way back. I'm gonna fuse the cat girl with the elf girl to make a slightly different colored elf girl. I actually don't know what Alrune, Deltarune is. I'm gonna Google this real quick. What mythology are you from, weird fairy creature? Alrune is a book. And also we're making a dryad. Everyone knows what a dryad is. Okay, so it's a humanoid-shaped mandrake root. Jesus Christ, this Wikipedia summary is like involves alchemists and hanging and ejaculation and potions and okay, yeah, I don't know what the fuck this creature is, but there's a 1911 German book written about it, so go look it up, I guess. And also we got a creature of the Black Lagoon. Oh yeah, you know what, I actually didn't end up fusing that dryad, did I? I canceled out of that fusion to make the lagoon instead. It's the creature of the Black Lagoon. You know, actually, funny enough, I'm thinking about it, but like, man, this fucking game is all in on the whole Universal Monsters thing. But yeah, we're gonna end this as we began, by playing the slots, so I can get more of my money back after spending quite a lot of it. I'll see you next time. Have a good one.